The last podcast we did, I was like, Albert, go ride your dirt bike. What did Albert do when I said that?
Thought about it.
Well, that's progress.
I definitely thought about it, but we didn't ride the dirt bike.
Okay, so literally you didn't ride since the main event in Detroit.
Right.
So tell me about it.
Everybody kept saying 3 weeks, but it wasn't 3 weeks. It was 3 weekends. It was 4 full weeks. And I did some quick math on that.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, if people ride 4 days a week, which some guys do, even if it's 3 days a week, that's 12 to 16 days of riding that I missed out on, which you could do that math really quick probably, but I would estimate that that is about 25%, 20 to 25% of my preseason.
Jesus.
That's a lot of time to miss out on. But I will be honest, I was a little nervous because how could you not be when you are actually physically underprepared compared to the people around you? I was just like, I tried to find that space mentally where I was trying to make 4 weeks ago feel like it was yesterday. In my head, I'm just like, okay, 4 weeks ago, it's not that long. It feels like yesterday. I can just remember the feeling. Really, the goal, we'll just go right from the beginning when I stepped foot on the bike. The goal was to go out on lap, this was the key. This was the most important part of the whole day, in my opinion. Go out on lap 1 of free practice, the first time that I touched the dirt, and don't be a wuss. Jump stuff right away and get into the flow right away. And I did that. I didn't qualify top 10 like I had the last few rounds, but it did not take me long to learn that track. I jumped all those big scary doubles on the first couple of laps, maybe even the first lap. Jumped all the rhythms by second or third lap. I did everything really quick, and that was what I needed. Because what I would have done in the past is allowed myself to have been nervous and then take a couple laps to get warmed up. And then you've screwed yourself at that point because the practice goes by too quick. If you don't make that free practice count, you will ruin your whole day. So I had to get that momentum going right away. And I kind of carried that into the first time qualifier and the second time qualifier. I even told Dan before the second time qualifier. Because what happened is they groomed the track. Everybody got 3 seconds faster after the first time qualifier. When I saw C group go out there or B group go out there, the top couple of guys in B group went from a 140 to a 136 or 137. So they got 3 to 4 seconds faster. And Dan relayed that information to me. And then I told him, you know what? I'm not worried about it. My goal actually is to try and do 2 laps in a row, like 2 hard laps in a row. But I'm just going to log as many fast corners, jumps, sections, laps as I can and do as little rolling as possible because I just have to get comfortable and learn the track. And I said, I don't care how I qualify. So much so that after the second time qualifier, I never looked. Some people have told me, some people said 20th, 22nd, 23rd. I still to this right now, I don't know what place I qualified. I never looked. And each time I hit the track, I just got that much more comfortable, had the right mindset. And the heat race is really kind of what gave me a really good boost of confidence. A big boost of confidence because I was on the line and I had a couple of specific thoughts. I remember I just said to myself, it was something about like the only thing that matters is like right now. Like because there's a lot of times I'll sit on the line and I'll think about everything that I have or haven't done leading up to this point for no good reason. And I'm like, you know what? Just worry about right now. I'm feeling pretty good today. Everything's going well. Like, let's just think about right now, right this second, right now. That's it, right now. And the gate dropped, got a good start in the heat race. Shifted third, shifted fourth, really good start. Hugged the inside, actually very similar to the way I did in the LCQ. Came out, I think, looking probably pretty good. And then I hit somebody going through the jumps. I can't remember if I locked foot pegs with them or elbows or handlebars, something. And then simultaneously when that happened, the person in front of me cased the last rhythm before the finish line jump. And I'm like, oh, they're not going to jump it. They did end up jumping it. But at that point, I had already decided, okay, I just hooked with the guy and the guy in front of me isn't going to jump it. I have to roll the finish line. And I'm like, I'm not rolling the finish line on first lap, especially if I'm the first guy to roll the finish line in the first lap. I'm going off the side of the jump. So I turn left and start going down the sand section backwards because I didn't feel like rolling the finish line jump or the jump after it to get landed on. So I just I just went down the sand section backwards, hop back on, make sure it's all clear. I'm now in dead last.
I missed all of that.
You did?
All I saw, because I was on the other side of the finish line, I saw you check up and not jump. And there's audio of me. And I'm like, you can't roll the finish line on the first lap. Like,
yeah, I know. And so that happens. I go left, I go into the oncoming lane and just let everybody go by. And even Mechanic Dan said at dinner afterward, he goes, yeah, that was the turning point. Right when you got back on the track, right then and there. Or he goes, right when I saw you go off the track. I go, well, he says he had the moment where he just thought, well, that's it. He's given up.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right. And then he said, as soon as I got back on the track, he was able to tell within 2 corners before I even disappeared from him away from view that, no, that wasn't it. Like something clicked and I decided I was coming back through. He could tell just by the way I looked on the bike before I took off that like, hang on a second. He's actually going for this. So I came from dead last up to 11th, right?
Yeah.
And that was a fun one because I was scrubbing the finish line jump hard and the doubles. I was scrubbing rhythm sections hard. I was charging everything. I might have taken somebody out at one point. I was block passing people. I was super, super aggressive. By far, the most aggressive I've been in any race this season, or honestly, probably any race in the last 5 years. I was just charging. I was locking onto the next guy in front of me, tracking him down, passing him, moving on to the next guy, passing him, moving on to the next guy, passing him. And fast guys, top 16 and further up in the heat race are not slow dudes. I mean, nobody in the heat race is slow, but especially as you start creeping towards that top 10, I'm passing fast guys and just blowing by them and going on to the next one. That was a good boost of confidence in the arm. That felt quite nice, but it completely exhausted me. So that was my fears when I got off of the heat race. I was just like, holy cow, that was sick, but I am toast. I am completely done.
Yeah, but dude, it was so weird, that heat race, because it was so unlike qualifying. The difference between your heat race and qualifying was night and day. During qualifying, it looked like last year qualifying. It just looked like last year. There was you were flowing around doing your thing, getting decent times. You qualified 23rd, just so you know. And sure enough,
but it didn't look racy or just looked like kind of stiff and nervous and awkward.
Heat race, we were all like, "What the heck is happening?" I mean, dude, you passed 11 dudes? That's insane. And I have the shots. I got you passing someone in the last set of whoops every single lap. You slammed one dude. Slammed him in the corner.
Jack Rogers. I went up and apologized afterward, and he goes, you know what he said too?
What?
He goes, dude, he apologized to me. He's like, dude, I'm sorry. I did not hear you coming at all. And it was because I had so much speed coming in that the last few whoops, I was off throttle, so I was coasting. Mm-hmm. And he couldn't hear me, so he cut to the inside to take the turn, and I just slammed him and stood him up.
No, but we were like, what the heck happened? All of a sudden, the heat race had clicked, which I've never seen. It never clicks. You the story for you that I've noticed, as an outsider, has always been the day's determined in qualifying whether or not we're going to do it. So to see in Atlanta the day not be determined by qualifying was cool. Yeah, that heat race, we were racing, dude.
Yeah, right. That's what it was. I'd say most of the time I'm guilty of not racing.
Right.
I can ride fast, but I don't race. I was racing.
Yep.
Yep. And what I realized in that is I like racing's fun.
Well, that's good.
Sometimes I try and convince myself that just the riding's the fun part, but racing's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Racing is fun.
Yeah. Good. Well, considering what we do, it's a good thing, you know.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Racing's fun. LCQ, not as fun as the heat. I mean, the heat was actually really fun. LCQ is more like, all right, guys, like, don't hurt me here. Like, let's be really cautious. Let's be strategic. It was still fun because it worked. But then the main event was also really fun.
I don't know. Was it hard to go back to an LCQ? We've done how many in a row not going to LCQs? 2 or 3?
No, it wasn't. And it 3 races, yeah, because one of them was a Triple Crown. And then 2 actual legit heat. Yeah, so 3 rounds without an LCQ. No, I didn't even think of it that way. It honestly never even crossed my mind that I was in the LCQ. I was just like, okay, good gate pick. Let's get a good start and let's just ride. Like, very simple thoughts, which is good. Yeah, I think my mindset was really good the whole day considering complete lack of preparation. So that's a good thing. Main event. Great start in the main event from the outside. I could have, if you play back the start from the main event, if I had stayed on the gas and committed to that last part of the corner, I would have come out probably like top 7. But I let everybody go because I really thought, especially after the LCQ, I'm like, all right, I got nothing left here. Nothing left. But then once the race, as soon as the start came and after a lap or 2, I'm like, okay, this is fun. I had a good rhythm on the track. I had good lines in both sets of whoops. There wasn't a part of the track where I really felt awkward or uncomfortable on. I felt like I had a good flow. So I just stayed in the mix the whole time. I did get lapped, but it wasn't until the very end when I got lapped, I kept on moving, didn't really let them by, and ended up 16th. In fact, I actually caught 2 guys right at the end. I really wanted 15th bad. I kept seeing 16 on the pit board. I was reeling in Hicks and Nice in front of me. I was faster than them at the end because they were fading as well, but I just didn't have any energy left. And it was getting scary because all of the lines that I was taking on the jumps were so far to the corner of the track and the ruts were getting deeper that, no joke, the outside of my foot of my boot in a couple of the sections, if one of them specifically was the double after the finish line, which by the way is a massive double, my foot would graze the tough block each time that I would go through that, off that takeoff. So when you start to get tired, what happens is your footwork very easily goes from, I know Cam probably can't see me, from this to this with your toe out, and you don't even know. And then all it takes is that little bit for, boom, that tough block to catch your foot. And next thing you know, you're just doing a Superman when you didn't mean to. So I was being really, really careful. And another thing too is like when you get tired, especially with my soft suspension, it's really easy to land and let your ankles blow out where you could break an ankle or tear an Achilles. It's easy for your wrist to kind of cave and blow off the handlebar. So I was just kind of really doing everything I could to just make sure I was reinforcing for landings. And yeah, overall it was actually a really darn good day.
If you guys enjoyed this podcast clip and you want to listen to full episodes, go download them. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and I think that's it. Go download them there, give them a listen. If you want to watch full episodes, which I tell you what, it's even better to do that, go to club.themotoacademy.com because Moto Academy subscribers inside of the app have exclusive access to watch the entire episodes. And not only that, the subscribers actually can send in their questions to be answered on the podcast as well. Club.themotoacademy.com. Go subscribe.